It doesn't matter what happens the rest of this season or maybe any season afterwards. You see, we in St. Louis got to see the greatest NFL story ever told. A guy who sat for 4 years in college, who stocked shelves and played in the Arena League, became a Super Bowl MVP. We all thought it could be a movie, and now it is. American Underdog. I sat down with Kurt and Brenda Warner this weekend to discuss it. So you watch the movie for the very first time, and as soon as it's over, your first thought is what?
I can't believe that we just watched this, and it reminded me of how far we've come. It just really shocked me to see it happen in front of me, where I think how quickly we could have lost everything by one decision or, an opportunity. It just was fascinating to me to watch it all out in screen, and someone that looks like me, someone that looks like him. It was weird. It was beautiful but weird.
And for me, it was like going back. And that was kind of the first thing I thought is, you've lived this and it seemed like so long ago, and then you kind of freeze for a moment and go, holy cow. I mean, you think back to all of those different moments that you've almost forgotten along the way, and the emotions kind of start to take over again. You're like, wow, it has been an incredible journey that we've been on, and oftentimes I think when you live it, you forget all about that and everybody else sees it. And it was a time for us, I think, to step back and go, man, it's amazing where we're at now and what we've been through, and that we've been able to do it together.
How much contact did you have with the people who portrayed you? I thought it was really important that Zachary looked like a football player. Were you involved?
Very involved. That was one of the key components. And we've seen all the little blurbs on social media about people that have tried to throw a football before. And I think oftentimes in a movie like this, you can lose people by going, oh, that doesn't look anything like, a football player. So that was definitely part of when he first came. He came for about 3 days when he was cast for the movie, and we went out in the backyard and threw the football around, and I gave him a little pointers here and there. And then at the same time, you take a step back and go, well, this is still an actor that hasn't ever played football, so to expect him to portray an NFL quarterback is not an easy thing to do. But it was fun to have him around the family and feeling out our dynamic and being able to apply all of that to his role.
The most diabolical character in the movie was Mike Martz, and as you've written about in the book, it was true. He really was brutal.
Yeah, he was. And I thought, the character that played Mike and just the whole dynamic between me and Mike in the movie was really, really well done. And it was key in a lot of different ways to my development. And for me to get ready for that role was Mike having to ride me a little bit. And I remember the conversation we had once I became the starter, and he basically just said, there was no way for us to know or to put you under the pressure you're going to face when you actually get behind center in the NFL. So we had to do everything we could to put as much pressure on you as possible just to see if you could handle that and for us to feel comfortable putting you in that role. So it wasn't fun. I remember a number of conversations calling from training camp going, Brenda, I don't think I'm any good. Like, I don't think I'm going to make this team, because all I could hear in practice was, you're awful, you got to do this better, you got to do that better. But I think it was a really great part of the movie in my development and my growth, both as a person and as a player, through that relationship.
So I know you are both too gracious to say anything negative about the Rams, but the big story in St. Louis right now is the lawsuit. And there's talk now that instead of a settlement, there could be a team. I want you to address this because you lived it. Is this a great football city, and you think the NFL could work here? You first, Brenda.
Well, I don't like football, so I have no opinion about a football team, but I know this community. And I remember from day one feeling like we were part of it. I remember putting a call out for people to donate coats for those in need, and the city showed up. They still do 21 years later. I mean, this city was amazing the way I remember parking the car for Rams games, and just the feeling of a community while you're walking into the stadium, and just everybody supporting this team. That was a special time.
To me, what I realized in football along the way was that great football towns or great sports towns are about the community. They're about people coming out and supporting and being a part of and being connected to the teams that they have. And there was no place. I mean, we had love in different places that we were, but St. Louis was so special in the way that they supported us, the way they supported the team, what we did in that period of time that we were here. There's no doubt that this is a great sports town, and they were a great football town when we were here, and I would love to see St. Louis have a football team and continue to support them the way that they supported us.
Final question. Give me one sentence. We have a lot of couples watching this. The key to your successful marriage. What's the key?
No backing down. No matter what, we're in this together.
How about it?
I 100% agree. There's no options. The only option is to figure it out and to work through it, because we started this thing together and we're going to finish this thing together.